Check out Bitcoin and Ethereum leading the crypto market higher today. President Biden signing an executive order stating the United States must maintain technological leadership in the rapidly growing crypto space, supporting innovation while mitigating the risks. For more on what this means and what the consequences it could have for crypto and the market, let's bring in our very own Bitcoin baller, Brian Kelly. He joins us on the fast line. BK, it's always good to get your take on these things. It's very high level. I don't know if any of the buckets, the 6 areas that they are going to focus on in the coming days are a surprise. So what exactly was so bullish about this?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Melissa. So really what was bullish about it is the industry has been clamoring for regulatory clarity. And the biggest concern was that there was going to be either regulatory overreach or, a flat-out ban. So it was welcome that they're saying, hey, listen, we want to keep our competitiveness globally, but we also recognize they're at risk. And about half of the executive order had to do with national security, which we all, I think, would agree is probably a good thing. So in general, that's why you had this 8 to 9% rally in Bitcoin and Ethereum today.
In terms of the kinds of coins that would benefit the most from the notion that the U.S. wants to maintain its technological edge and be a home for innovation, which coins would it be? Because there are some coins, that depend more heavily on that notion in that, entire platforms are built on top of them.
Right. So you're talking about like an Ethereum, right? Any of these smart contract platforms, anything that's going to be that Web 3.0 is going to be built on is likely to be likely to benefit the most, primarily because if you think about that, this is really kind of the next version of tech, the next version of the web. And so when you get into Bitcoin, which really is a currency and it's kind of competing with gold, that's one aspect of it. But this whole Web3 DeFi area, that's going to be the biggest beneficiary of this regulatory clarity.
You often like to find the contrary way of thinking about things, BK, and so what would your concerns be? Because this is it's pretty vague right now. There's a long road between this and actual legislation or actual, acts that become official in any way. And so I'm wondering if there are areas in the market that you're concerned about in crypto.
Yeah, I think the biggest concern here is, one, I agree with the national security angle to this. However, it's very clear that you have these sanctions and how powerful the U.S. dollar-based global financial system is. If for some reason crypto was viewed as a threat to that, to the U.S. dollar being the reserve currency, then I think that would be the kind of the negative to this executive order. And I would be concerned about that because then that would get us closer to a flat-out ban. Again, that's not my base case, but if I have to pick something out of it that is worrying me, it would be worrying that Congress and politicians look at crypto as a threat to the global world order.
All right, BK, always great to get your take on these sorts of things. Brian Kelly, our own in-house Bitcoin baller, joining us on the fast line tonight. Karen, do you think that it sounds positive, at least at the get-go?
Right.
And I would imagine that because more and more institutions are in crypto, that the lobbying power is much bigger now.
Absolutely, right? When you think about some of the dollars behind it, that's an excellent point. I think it wasn't anything bad, so that's good.
Simple as that.
Yes.
Not bad is the new good.
We don't really know what it was, right?
We still don't know what it was. That's
but
the thing
it wasn't bad. We know it wasn't,
I think when you have oligarchs trying to hide their money and whether it's gold or whether it's Bitcoin or whether it's Ethereum, I think that's been a tailwind for it. Obviously, the regulatory framework to this point, no one has any idea what's a tailwind, what's a headwind, but as soon as you start talking about it and someone doesn't say that we hate it, then it's a tailwind. So you kind of keep it really in its elementary thing. I actually bought some of the Grayscale Ethereum Trust for my children. Finally, I got off the bubble and bought it for them. But the problem with this is they're both in Bitcoin and Ethereum are both in a declining trend line. So they have to really break out to really have any substantive rally to get back to the old recent highs.
I think this notion that people are using it to hide money is interesting, considering it's a public ledger.
Yeah.
You can actually track all the transactions, Guy. But I mean, Grosso brings up an interesting point about the charts. All this is positive. We see a pop today, but the technicals may not be looking too good.
No, and to Steve's point, just looking at this through that lens, I think 46,000-ish is the 200-day moving average. If you go back and look, that's what it failed at about a week and a half ago. We traded back down to 38,000, and here we are. So I think the way to trade it, again, just my opinion, if you want to get in, if you haven't been in, you buy it on a breakout above 46,000, or you look to that pullback that we've seen a number of times now back to 38.